morning, everyone. I'm coming at you with some green beans this morning. And I've got some nice fresh green beans that I got at Price Chopper. And they are really, really nice. There's hardly any bad spots on them. I've washed them and now I'm cutting the ends off and snapping them in half. And I just wanted you to see what I was doing, because when I get them all snapped up, we're going to cook them. I'm going to show you how I cook these. And I just take the ends off of both ends and snap them in half, in case you've never done fresh green beans before. But these are really nice looking green beans. And I'm going to finish doing those, and then I'll be back and I'm going to show you how I cook them, and then we're going to make a meatloaf. So I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, I'm back, and I've got my pan on the stove ready for my green beans to go in, and I've got bacon cooking. And I start out my bacon cooking before I put anything else in there. And I'm going to turn this over while it cooks. And let it get all the good juices out of the bacon. All that good flavoring into the skillet. And I had the light up. I may have it too high. But you want your burner to be on high, because when you put your green beans in there, it's got to be very, very hot, so that it'll cook these up real quick till they turn bright green. And after they turn bright green, we will turn them down, season them, and put some water in them, put the lid on it, and let them cook until they get done. So I'm going to go ahead and put the green beans into the pan. And I like to keep them stirred up. And you're going to see how they turn bright green. Get my camera loosened up here so I can tilt it. My arms aren't working very good this morning. Okay. Stir that all around with the bacon. And the bacon is what flavors up the beans so good and makes them taste wonderful. You can do this with frozen green beans, and you can do this with canned green beans as far as putting your bacon in the canned green beans. If you'll drain your canned green beans and get all that broth off and rinse them off, put them back in your pan either with some bacon or bacon grease, and stir them up till they get heated up, and then add more water to them and season them however you want them, and cook them on low till they get cooked good and get all that flavor into them. And they'll taste really good too. You'd be surprised how much better they taste when you rinse that water off and re-season them with bacon. They're cooking up really nicely. And they're starting to turn. if you can see the ones that are starting to turn greener. They get just a different color to them, and they're bright. Like this one right here. He's got some bright on him and some of the others still. You can see how it's turning. Keep stirring that. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of salt in there for now, and I'll probably have to add more. I usually put a little bit and then taste them and see how they're tasting, because it usually does take quite a bit of, and I'm just going to sprinkle some pepper in there. It takes quite a bit of salt sometimes, but I don't like to put it all on at once because I don't want to get too much. And then I'm going to put some onion powder. Just, you can put fresh onions cut up in here. Some people don't like the onions in them. And this way, they won't even know there's onion in it, but they'll know that it tastes really good. They're getting brighter and brighter. They're even smelling really good. So, I'm gonna hop off for now and let these finish getting green, put some water on them, and put the lid on them, and then get my things ready so that I can make some meatloaf, and then I'll be back to show you that. See you in a little bit. Okay, I'm back and we're ready to start making the meatloaf. And the green beans are done, and I'll show you those in a little bit. I've got 2 pounds of ground beef here. Well, I know I should have had this done, but I always think that it's going to be right till I turn the camera on. Okay. Now, I'm going to put the ground beef in the mixer. Two pounds. Now, you don't have to make this big of a meatloaf if you don't want to. I just wanted you to see what I've got underneath my pan here so that when the meat dripped, it wouldn't get all over the counter. I use my Frisbee for everything. Thank you, Noah. Okay. I'm going to turn the mixer on and let that be mixing up. Get it a little stirred up in there. Then I'm going to add 2 eggs that I've already beaten. 1 cup of chopped onions. Then I'm going to put in a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. And 2 teaspoons of salt. was going to tell you, I did add more salt to my green beans. And then I'm going to put a teaspoon of mustard. In there. Whoops. And I'm going to put 1 cup of tomato sauce. Some people mix their meatloaf up by hand, and I've done that many times, but today I'm just going to mix it in the mixer. Okay, and then the next thing we're going to put in there is 1 cup of oats, and I've already measured those out, and these are quick oats. 1 cup of those. And a 1/2 cup of brown sugar, packed. Okay, now that will be ready to go into the pan, which I have already greased. And the next thing that we're going to do is put 2/3 cup of ketchup and in a little bowl here, and mix in 1/4 cup of brown sugar. This is going to be the topping that goes on top of the meatloaf. Put 1/4 cup of brown sugar in that. Mix that up real good. And when we're ready with the meatloaf all loafed up, we will put this on top and put it in the oven. This is a real simple recipe, and it's so good. It's real tasty. It's a little bit on the sweet side. Has very good flavor. It's my favorite meatloaf. Okay, that's ready. And we're gonna take this out. Still have to get your hands in it a little bit, but okay. Get it all down from the side. I'm just going to kind of dump it into the pan. And then that way I can shape it after I get it in there. Okay. It's just about the right size for this little pan. I'm just going to form it into a nice little loaf shape. Like I said, I already had the pan greased with Pam. There's that. I'm going to wash my hands, and I'll be right back. Okay. Now we're going to put the topping on. The ketchup and the brown sugar. Now, I have a grandson that likes mustard on his, on the topping. And sometimes I just put mustard, but sometimes I mix the brown sugar with the mustard. And that's the way Michael likes it. So I'm going to put all this on here. This is just going to be so good. This is the recipe that I used. I used at camp for the kids. And some people said, well, they won't eat meatloaf, but they did, and they loved it. They loved it. So, here we are. And this is ready to go in the oven. And the oven is set at 400, and I'm going to bake it for an hour. And I'll just get back to you when it gets done. Okay, my timers are going off. And I'm going to check this and see if it's anyways near done. And I hope it is. It sure is smelling the kitchen up. Smells really good. Looks really good too. Show you what it looks like real quick. Okay, I'm gonna turn my thermometer on. And check this temperature. Let's put that right down in the middle, and don't touch the bottom. Don't let it go all the way to the bottom. It's done. Wow, that is looking so good. Rinse that off real quick. Okay, I'm going to show you the green beans here. Thermometer up. Let you see what they look like. And I did add some more salt to this. I added probably another teaspoon of salt. And you just have to taste it and see what you think, whether you need anything added to it or not. And I'm gonna take me out. I can't taste the meatloaf yet, and it needs to set for a while before we even cut it. But I'm gonna taste a green bean if I can get one. I don't think he wants me to eat him. Really tender, really has a good flavor with the bacon. I think you're gonna like these. And like I said, you can do it with frozen green beans, or you can do it with canned green beans and give them a good flavor. So, we're gonna have green beans for supper. We're gonna have meatloaf, and we're gonna have cranberry salad. And this is gonna be going over to Ronnie and Chrissa, and Braden and Lyric, so they can have a good supper. I'll probably take me out a little plateful, and if I plate me up some, I'll take a picture of it and add it with this video. Well, thanks again for watching. Please subscribe to my channel and push the like button. Thanks so much. I'll talk to you later.